how about you?
Eric.
Okay, wow. Looking at Ghana's economy nowadays, I have some certain questions to ask you. You know how you think some measures should be put in place to improve upon some of the measures or maybe some of the stuff that Ghana should put in on point so that it will grow economically. So I want to know, do you see Ghana as a poor country?
Well, today I think we are not doing well. We are not doing well because we die too early. 65 is the life expectancy. It's not good enough. Japan is 85, so we can do better than that.
And so, from your conclusion, I want to say that Ghana is a poor country.
I think so.
So can you convince your viewers why do you think Ghana is a poor country?
I think life expectancy, income levels, those two are enough. I mean, our income levels, $1,500 per capita income per year. I mean, yeah, the definition of per capita income is per year anyway, but it's not enough.
So what do you think are some of the measures that Ghana can put in place in order to become a rich country or compete with other countries?
Well, you see, ideally, I would talk about government and leadership and the strategies they can adopt and measures and so on. But I have to admit that I feel as if there are enough people talking about that subject for me not to have to add my voice to what the president must do, what his ministers must do. Every 4 years we vote, and it's as if the cycle is difficult. So what I know is around innovation and how to attract capital into entrepreneurship and how to grow institutions that create a certain ecosystem that also forces the politics to adopt the right measures. That one I can speak to if you like.
Okay, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so you see, if you go to a place like Canada, in the vicinity of the University of Waterloo, they have a lot of incubators. So Catalyst Commons, Accelerator Center, Velocity, and these people are incubating ideas from young people and then giving them a little money to sort of build those ideas into something. So normally if you have that, then you are able to also form financial institutions that can fund some of those ideas, and you add on top of that a university that is researching, that people can pick ideas from. That triangle is the same triangle in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley obviously is...
okay, so here is the case. Ghana is a developing country comparing to other countries or comparing to developed countries. So you see, Ghana is now developing, and the measures that you might think they can adopt from those developed countries, I think it might be something too difficult because we are now about finding our way out. So how do you think Ghana as a developing country, some of the measures they can adapt in order to...
Well, you see, I used to work in telecoms, and I used to work in banking, and I used to work in manufacturing, and I feel like this argument has always been with us. You get a project in manufacturing and they say, oh, but in Africa, how can we automate a brewery? We are not there yet. But when you automate a brewery, you find that you are getting more consistent beer, you are getting more profit, and you are creating more jobs for people in distribution and so on and so forth. So I don't go too much with, when it comes to technology, I feel you must get the best engineering. I don't go too much with this appropriate technology. One day I went to Jaso in the Ashanti region, and they had created a palm oil processing line. Instead of connecting the conveyor so that the whole thing flows automatically, it flows a little, then they stop it. Then they give it to some people to carry it to the next level. They say they want the people also to get work. And I said, what you are doing does not make sense. You can send all those people to grow palm oil or to grow palm nut. Because that's what you need, so that the thing can run continuously, and then you can make profit. To be stopping the line and putting it on the heads of people so that they can carry as well, it means you are playing with the work. And when you play with it, you get a playful result.
But here is the case. Ghana's education or at large is something that we all know should be improved upon. and you spoke about technology that we need engineers. So how do you think this could be able to, if we don't have those expertise of people, personnel that can actually, in the engineering sector, to train or teach people or the youth of Ghanaians to be able to have the passion to go into the engineering sector?
Look, the principles of engineering are the same. I'm a chemical engineer, but I also did Masters in Business Administration in this very school here, the Business Management Information Systems option. We were the first batch. So at that time, of course, we didn't have professors. The people came from Belgium under the European Union program. They were funded, came and taught us. Then we went for the second year in Belgium, and we returned to work. So what I found when I was in Belgium, what I found when I was in KN University, today KN University, my certificate is UST. There was no KN at the time. But what I found is that the principles are the same. There's nothing that we do not know. And this has been the case from our history till today. That I was saying to your brother earlier that as far back as 1898, John Mensah Saba won a judgment in the London court to reverse the land bill that the colonialists had passed in Ghana. What principles of law did he argue over there? It was the same law. But it was a British judge who ruled that the colonialists cannot pass that law in Ghana. And I think that some of the narration of our history has been made to make us feel insecure. But those principles are the same. I worked in the Netherlands for 5 years for Heineken International. During those years, there were certain projects that I had to go and do in France or Netherlands or some other countries. But there were many also that I did in Nigeria and Congo, Kinshasa, and so on. And the principles were the same. The principles were the same. If it will work in Amsterdam, it will work in Accra.
So conclusively, I want you to just pass something to your viewers, summarize everything, the measures that Ghanaians can actually put in place, if it is the political sector or the leaders, especially the youth that are coming, that they may also learn and then look into that aspect so that we also see Ghana at the top one day.
You see, when I was in MTN, those were the years in which we put 12 million smartphones into the hands of Ghanaians. Those were the years in which we put 12 million people on mobile money, almost. How did we do? That's the question Ghanaians must be interested in. We did it through the Mokola market, Kantamanto, KJT. We worked with the market queens, we worked with the Ghana Union of Traders, we worked with the traditional rulers, and we put technology, we put Wi-Fi networks into Mensah Palace. We put 4G networks across the country. Today there's 5G. I don't know what Ghana is doing about that. But those are missed opportunities that we must not waste any further time. So I think that we must make sure that innovation is working. We must make sure that that bedrock of academic institutions, of innovation and research centers, of incubators, and so on. When you have those things, capital follows you. One thing before you, since you are into economics, the capital in the world is over $500 trillion. There is so much capital in the world. It's sitting in the balance sheets of State Street, BlackRock, Blackstone, institutions that cannot disperse it. That's why the valuations are going crazy. Nvidia alone as a company now is worth $4 trillion. Because they don't know what to do with the capital. So they are putting it on the same company who they feel can do it. Under those circumstances, if you make your institutional ecosystem strong and you build proper innovation, you will be funded till you can accept funds no more. But the capital in or let's say the funding in the IMF side, if you put all the firepower of the IMF together worldwide, it's $1 trillion. See how many governments are going there. When they have their spring meetings, go to Washington DC and see whether you can get somewhere to park. There are so many people over there. So you are not going to get much from that side. But if you get into the innovation side, you can attract so much funding. And you can attract so much capital. And you can build infrastructure and you can do major things. And that is what we need.
Okay, so innovation is like.
So today we have e-commerce that is very, and it's totally, this thing I'm wearing, Bruno, is e-commerce for the informal sector. So that people who do not have prices to go and list on portals, people who do not have trust networks to be able to receive payments online. There are certain technological innovations you do which allow you then to use what are called reverse auctions and so on to be able to set them. We have content which has to be delivered over more agile and accessible fiber optic broadband networks, which engineers know how to deliver them at a cheaper cost. But content industries elsewhere in the world are getting towards $1 trillion valuation, but we are playing with it over here as well. We have AI. I mean, the world is, there's so much that can be done with what we are doing in this ecosystem. But we want to carry palm oil on our head because we have stopped the conveyor and we are giving work to somebody to carry it to the next bucket. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, so I guess, but Ghanaians they actually do that to avoid unemployment. Because honestly, we all know unemployment in Ghana is on the rise. Day in, day out, the youth, they're out there searching for jobs.
Look, do you think? Remember, we used to do airtime on scratch card.
Exactly.
I think it was in 2020 that the team I was heading, the general manager, Boubacar Mohammed, came to me one day and told me that we should, the number of people using it is so few that we should just get rid of it. Do you know that the boys who were selling the scratch card were just about 40,000? The mobile money network ended up with over 300,000 agents at some point. So if you lost 40,000 on one side and got 300,000 on one side. And then there was also in those days, I don't know if they still have it, but they used to call something transfer.
Yes.
You go under an umbrella and they transfer the airtime. I'm sure it's still around. That one too gave people a lot of work. So now look at the number of people who got work. And the number of people who, and a lot of these people who we think they lost their job. But the boy I used to buy from, and now he's selling lemons and tissue paper and whatever. He is doing his own thing, but he wants to be in traffic. That's where he feels his market. If he wanted to lead the traffic, he can go and be a mobile money agent, he can go and be a transfer agent, he can go and do smartphone. The jobs that are created by technological disruption worldwide have always been more than the ones that you use. So we are afraid of certain things in this place. I know. I mean, I've been in this journey. I've worked for 17 different employers. Half of them are multinational companies. Some of them are universities, some are government institutions. So I know that there's a certain fear within us. If you do it, you lose the little you have. No, do it. Especially young people.
For the sake of time, Ghanaians out there, we have learned a lot, and then we know very well it's going to impact us. He says we should get rid of the fear, let's get the spirit and do it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.